Hey, how you doing? This is Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com, and today's video is coming from the dog walk up in the hills here. We're just keeping one eye out for hunters. Unfortunately, one of the things about Cyprus that I don't like is the amount of backwards hunters out here. Population 1 million, 125,000 hunters, all out with shotguns, killing animals for fun, because it makes them feel better about their small willy. I think if your hobby is killing animals, you have to really question who you are as a human being. But anyway, that's a completely different subject. Today's video is all about relapse, falling off the wagon. What do you do? Or perhaps more importantly, what don't you do? But first of all, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Because if you're worried about your drinking, or you just need some support and advice and encouragement, then this is the channel you want to be on. So hit the subscribe button now, ring the bell so you get updates, and do me a favor and like the video, because that says very positive things to YouTube. It means they'll show you this content more often, and it means they look after my channel a bit better. So, relapse. Let me tell you a story. Back when I worked in radio, when I used to run commercial radio stations for a living, I was a program director, and my boss was the managing director, and for a few years I worked for a guy called Mike. And Mike taught me two things about budgeting and finance for radio stations. And both of them are probably incorrect, but it was great fun at the time. I would have a budget to market the radio station, to advertise the radio station and try and find new listeners. And Mike told me, the first thing he told me was, never, ever, ever underspend your budget. Never, ever hand back money to the company. Always spend every penny we give you. He said, if you hand the money back, you will get a pat on the back from the board, but next year you will get less money. So never, ever, ever be a good boy and hand money back. Then one year I was massively over budget. I'd spent too much money, and I went to see Mike to confess my sins. And I told Mike this, and he said, well, listen, he said, here's my advice. If you're already over your budget, you might as well just carry on spending. And I said, well, why? It doesn't make any sense. He said, it does, because you're already going to get called into the boardroom to explain yourself. You're already in trouble. You're already going to be put under the microscope, and they're going to ask you, why have you overspent your budget? You're already in trouble. So you might as well just carry on spending, because the roasting you get is not going to get significantly bigger if you carry on, but you might be able to do a lot of good with the money you spend. Okay, so that's what I did. But the point of that story is this. That's not what you do when you relapse from alcohol. There's no justification in just carrying on. There's no justification in saying, well, I've started drinking, so I might as well carry on. That doesn't help you at all. It doesn't serve any purpose. What do you do? Well, the first thing I want you to do is quit with the labels. Quit giving yourself these nasty labels, beating yourself up. All right, so you woke up and you realize you drank yesterday, and you call yourself terrible and weak-willed and a bad person. You've let your family down, you're unreliable, and all these other words that you link to yourself that you assume are true, and none of them are. None of them are. I don't care what you've done. You don't drink because you're a bad person. Alcohol kills 3 million people a year. What, you think it's only bad people who die? You think it's only stupid people who die? This has got nothing to do with your intelligence. It's got nothing to do with your character or your personality. This is a very good drug. It knows what it's doing, it does it well, and it does it in a tailored, custom fashion. And what I mean by that is it knows everything about you. It knows your wants, your desires, your fears, everything. It lives in your head. And so the way it hooks you in and the way it tempts you back is unique to you. What that little voice in your head says to you to get you drinking probably wouldn't work with me. And the voice that I hear and what it says probably wouldn't work for you. Wouldn't get you drinking again. It's tailored to you uniquely. So this has got nothing to do with intelligence or personality or anything like that. You wouldn't believe the amount of highly intelligent, highly successful people I coach on a daily basis. I'm talking policemen, doctors, lawyers, surgeons, people who do professions that they really shouldn't have a drinking problem. So forget the labels. And the second thing I want to say to you is forget the notion that this is just you, that you are alone in your misery. You're the only one to make this mistake. You're the only one to not get this. And I think that's the danger with, when you compare yourself to other people, there is a danger that you assume that everyone else is getting this right and working this out except for you. It's not true. So many people are struggling. It's not a linear path. You don't go from problem drinker to sober in a straight line. It's like a roller coaster ride. Some days are easy, some days are hard. But I can guarantee you, you're not the only one. You're not the only one to doubt themselves. So, if you relapsed last night, what do you do today? You double down. You do everything you did before, but a bit more. You keep listening to the good information. You keep making sobriety your passion. And you don't give alcohol more power than it deserves. You can think about this in many different ways, but imagine if your hobby is fishing. You like to go fishing, and one day you go out and you don't catch any fish. You wouldn't conclude, well, that's it, I'm a terrible fisherman. You wouldn't throw away all your fishing equipment, would you, and say, well, that's it, I'm obviously hopeless at this. You'd say, hey, it was a bad day. And that should be your mentality around this. If you relapse, all right, look, it's not ideal, it's disappointing, I get that. But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't say, everything I used to achieve sobriety is useless now. I've got to find completely new tools. Back to the fishing analogy, you don't buy a new rod every time you don't catch a fish, do you? You have faith in the tools that you have, and you carry on. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do, is to never quit. Quitting. It's not going to be easy all the time. There will be extended periods where it is easy. You can go years without ever even thinking about having a drink. And then suddenly, bang, you're back in the loop again. And the advice remains the same. Dust yourself down and start again, quietly, without fuss. Don't go looking for a pity party. I see people in the Facebook group, despite the fact that rule number 1 of the Facebook group is no day ones. Because it's toxic. I don't want people saying day one again, because it trips other people up. And also, the day one again statement is the opening invitation to a pity party. Come on in, everyone, feel sorry for me. Look, other people's sympathy won't get you anything. It'll get you a bit of attention. What's that worth? The attention you get is not worth anything at all. So it's pointless to throw this pity party. Oh, how terrible. I had a stressful day and I drank. Who cares? Dust yourself down quietly and start again. Because sobriety is your passion. Sobriety is who you are. And you have strayed from the path of who you are, but you are now back on the path. And that should be the way you think about it. I know that's a bit harsh and it's a bit kind of, tough love. But that's the sort of person I am. I'm not, as you know, I'm not the sort of therapist who's going to say, there, oh, poor you, it wasn't your fault, everything's going to be okay, oh, bless you. And it's not that I don't care about you, it's just that I know that sort of stuff doesn't serve you in the long run. Don't make this a bigger deal than it needs to be. Don't give alcohol more power than it needs or deserves, and it doesn't deserve any. People get very obsessed with, quitting drinking being super tough and difficult. It's not really. It's a mindset thing. In the same way as starting going to the gym is difficult. The first day you go to the gym after a long time of not going, it's horrible, isn't it? You get on that treadmill, and every minute feels like an hour. And you think, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. And then the second day you go to the gym, you hate it more, you hate it, you hate it, you hate it. The third day you hate it, the fourth day. Weeks of hating it. Oh, I have to go to the gym today. Oh, it sucks. Why can't I just sit home and eat cake? And then at some point after about 3 weeks of going to the gym, you find yourself wake up one morning and you're looking forward to it. It's no longer something you're dreading. You're looking forward to it. Your mindset has changed. It's the same with alcohol. Your first day sober without drinking, you might be like, I hate this. Well, how am I going to live my life without alcohol? Third day, second, fourth day, fifth day, third week. And then at some point you'll go, oh my God, I love this. Your mindset changed. That's what this is all about. Mindset. So if you fall off the wagon, don't label yourself, don't beat yourself up, don't have a pity party. Do dust yourself down and start again, quietly, with commitment and passion. And remember that great Rocky quote, it's not about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That is how winners are made, okay? Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and like the video for me, please. See you tomorrow in the next video. Thanks a lot.